When you are going to sell property, say stocks, the issue is what is your gain going to be? And you determine your gain by the sales price less basis. But what happens when there's been a transaction along the way? You bought the stock 10 years ago, or maybe even you inherited the stock 20 years ago, and it had a stock split, or the company was taken over in a merger, or there was a spinoff, or there was some other sort of transaction. All of these things can affect basis, and determining basis, particularly with property that you've held for a long time, can get very, very, very complicated. It's just a long process. So in general, a stock split, if you bought a share of stock for $10 and it split 3 for 1, now you have 3 shares and you divide that $10 among the 3. So it's $3.33 a share. If you sell 1 share for 10, then you've got gain of $6.67. Mergers, in general, what happens with that is you may give up your stock in the merger for stock of the acquiring company. In general, you will not have a change in basis, but you might have, because that's a tax-free transaction, you're not going to have a change in basis, but you are going to have a change in value. Spin-off goes the opposite way. You now own less than you owned before because part of what you own was spun off into another company. That may also be a situation where if the spin-off is to the existing shareholders of the company, now instead of owning one company, you own 2. And likewise, you will have to divide your basis between those 2 things. The other thing that's very often overlooked in basis is inheritances. Say granddad bought the shares for $1, and by the time he dies, they're worth 100. There's a step up in basis at death, and so all of a sudden, this stock that may have been worth 200, and almost all of it was going to be gain if it was sold, now goes up to 200 at death. And in general, now you have a step up in basis to fair market value. You could sell that property the next day at a gain at no gain. So keeping track of basis is an interesting and complicated issue.